Good morning, everybody. This is Judith A. Cole. You're listening to Mad Love. Let's get into it. So, I don't want to be a party pooper. Congratulations to Michael B. Jordan. I've enjoyed a lot of his work. I have to be honest, I don't follow the film industry the way I used to. I do not know a lot of movies that are out. I did see Sinners. If you listen to this podcast with any regularity, you know that I'm very frustrated by the film industry. I do not think it's a compliment that the biggest movie of the last year starred black people. It was a period piece, which I'm tired of watching, but I did watch it. And it's called Sinners. I just think it's a big psyop. I think they don't care at all about black people. They don't care at all about telling good stories. They want to keep us in our place. And they keep making these period pieces or slave movies. And this one is demonic with the title Sinners. I don't think that's particularly flattering. And that might not be a popular take. And I'm okay with that. This is a business that I've devoted my life to for the past 35 years. I graduated from film school. I've been working in and around, kind of hovering around the film industry all these years. A avid student, a huge fan up until probably 10 years ago. And I don't know. I feel some kind of way. I feel like this is manipulation. And there will be people who are so excited that he won, and you got a black director and a black this and a black that, and that's great. I don't diminish those accomplishments. I just think that the people in the film industry do not respect or care for black people, as evidenced by the products they release. B, I don't think winning an Oscar is what it used to be. And C, we're still alive. Can we make something contemporary with black people that's not demonic, that isn't about sin? Where are the normal movies with black people in them? In fact, where are the normal movies, period? And maybe it was all an illusion. Maybe it all has to come down. I don't know. I keep hearing that Rob Reiner was not who we thought he was. And it's like, okay, now the meathead ain't even who we think he is. And there's all these jokes that he made apparently at a roast or at his roast about child molesting or how he was passed around by his dad's friends. It's like, is that a joke? After you hear these Epstein files, it's like, maybe this is a ritual. Maybe it's not a joke at all. And I do think it's odd that they got murdered right before they were supposed to have dinner with the Obamas. Of all the people. Like, this is just a strange world we're living in. It feels like a Tom Clancy book. And, I'm ready for this movie to be over. Let's go to a rom-com. Let's just go watch something peaceful and funny. What happened to rom-coms? You really don't even see them anymore. You've got mail. I'd be happy to not only watch that, but to go back to a world that's like that. Anyway, it's gonna sound fake, but congratulations to Michael B. Jordan. I don't care. I do worry a little bit about him because he is not a Christian. He definitely practices some other religion that I don't know, could be voodoo, could be something else. It may be Ifa. I think he's part of Ifa, and he's like a high priest in it. So I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't want to condemn things I don't understand, but as a follower of Christ, I'm a little concerned. And maybe that's been his secret sauce to make it through this business. I don't know. But good on him. I have enjoyed a lot of his work. I did enjoy, I think his first job was on The Wire. And he did a very good job with that role. His character was one of the super engaging, tragic storylines from season one. Spoiler alert, but I mean, it's a 20-something-year-old show. You should watch it if you haven't watched it. But I do think it's troubling, and I do think it's strange that, these little subtle jabs at, black people, it really bothers me because I love movies. And at the time that I was graduating film school, there was it was never easy. It was never easy, but there were so many more stories around black people and black experiences. And now, and now that I look back, maybe only a couple of those were love stories. I think you had Brown Sugar, you had Love Jones, which is probably the gold standard. You had Love and Basketball, which was very, very good. You had, there was another one I was thinking of. But you had more variety, Something New with Sanaa Lathan. Who knew that was just going to stop? Like, they just stopped making contemporary movies with black people. And then they went hard on slavery. And I don't think that was an accident. That was not an accident. They want to keep you thinking, I know you see all these examples of black people doing well, but don't get any fancy ideas because you come from slaves. Meaning you're a slave. And you can't convince me that's not what they've been doing. So congratulations to them. Enough of that. I used to want an Oscar. I used to think it was something that was kind of a big deal, but like I said, the more of these truths that come out and get revealed, you start to realize, oh, okay, they've just been buying Oscars. They've been buying the Sexiest Man Alive award. Nothing's what you think it is. Nothing's a meritocracy. Everything's just sort of like this big performative gesture that we've been buying hook, line, and sinker, but it's really been bought and paid for. And that's the way I feel about it. Warner Brothers has a world of hurt. They're getting ready to be part of Paramount, which I just don't understand. And, they needed a big win, and they got it. And that's what's so strange about this business. So, like, David Zaslav, I think is his name, he was running Warner Brothers. He had the genius idea to take HBO out of the name of HBO Max, which I don't understand. But he still got like a $200 million bonus. He still makes like a gajillion dollars. And that was a terrific faux pas. And I don't understand how this business works. So then Warner Brothers decides they're going to take the higher offer from Paramount. But why? And I think the bigger question is, why can't studios stand alone now? Why do they need to be a big part of a conglomeration? What is happening? Are they money laundering? You hear stories all the time about people whose projects don't get released, but they just write them off because they don't have much faith in their performance at the box office. So they just write the film off, knowing that they'll get their money back, and they shelve the project. Is that what we're doing? Are these money laundering operations? Are they too funding something that we think is one thing, but it's something else? We live in a very confusing time, and you need your discernment. You need every ounce of your discernment, because there's no telling what people are doing for real. You can have theories, you can guess, but the reality is a lot of this is much darker than what we thought it was, and it's not even close to what we thought they were actually doing. So I don't know. I think a better question is, why can't the studio stand alone? We are at a very critical precipice in time. It is becoming painfully obvious that things got too big. Food is too big. The food industry is too big. There's too many ingredients. It's too fake. It's not real food. It's genetically modified. They know people don't read the labels. I read the labels, but a lot of people don't. But I had a health crisis. If you have a health crisis, you're going to start reading the labels and get very, very selective about what you eat if you want to be healthier. If you want to recover, you got to focus on what you eat. And I think most instances of disease can be fixed with food, or at least made better with food. But that means you have to cook, and it means you have to buy really high quality ingredients. But I took an oath. You either are going to pay for food or medicine. So you might as well use food as your medicine. All of that is broken. It's broken. We live in a broken system. And I don't know. It just doesn't seem like anybody wants to fix it. And the best fix is, oh, I'll grow my own food. Oh, I'll cook my own food. We were healthier in the past because most people couldn't afford to eat out. I guess people don't remember, we're at the most overabundant time in history. There was a time certainly in my age, your grandmother didn't eat French fries 24 hours a day, because in order to have a French fry, you had to really go back to the farm life. You had to grow the potato, wash the potato, peel the potato, get the grease, cut the potato, fry up. It was a treat. It was a treat. Even when you could go to the store and buy the potato, growing up, my parents, I fried plenty of potatoes in my house. My parents did too. If we wanted mashed potatoes, we made them. This going out to eat every day, that is a fairly new thing, I would say, within the last 30 years. But, my parents they wouldn't let us eat out like that. I think the most food we got to start eating out is when my parents got divorced, because it was just easier for my mom. But it was cheap too. It was much, much cheaper. You could get a container of chicken, or a bucket of chicken. I always wanted the bucket, but we never got the bucket. We did get Popeyes. My mom liked Popeyes and the biscuits, but that was like $5. You could get a box of chicken and biscuits for like $5. You know what I mean? So and my mom was never big on cooking, so yeah. But I always wanted the bucket. Now I hear it's not good anymore, and I don't eat out. I just don't trust anything out. Fast food wise, I will go to a restaurant, but I eat 95 to 99% of my meals at home, which means I'm cooking. And I've been cooking probably since grade school. I took over family cooking probably about 7th grade, 8th grade, because my mom, like I said, she didn't like to cook. And my dad, he worked hard, and he was great at barbecue and a couple of other things, but he also ate way more exotically than the rest of us. So, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that. I guess I'm saying everything has gotten so big, it's obvious that things are going to go back to being small, which means a lot more people are going to grow their own vegetables, because who wants to eat all these fucking chemicals? I just drove by the Siteman Cancer Center here in St. Louis. That building did not exist, but now it does, and it's giant, and it's just dedicated to cancer. And it's like, wow, there's that much demand. And I'm not naive. I know people get cancer, but man, this is a massive building. And it's like, I don't know, is all the glyphosate on the food causing all this cancer? It's a fair question. When are we going to get to the bottom of what causes the cancer? It's so frustrating. And so I feel like everything's going to get smaller. You're going to cook your own food. You're going to grow your own food. You're going to know the person who slaughters your cows and chickens for you. If you don't do it yourself, you'll go in on a cow with some friends, because we just can't afford to allow our food to be in the hands of big food. It's too big. Sort of like big pharma. Maybe some of your cures are in old-fashioned things. I gotta be honest with you, castor oil is fantastic for inflammation. They'd never prescribe that to you because you can get it on Amazon or at the store. And it's like instead of $100 a month, it's more like, I don't know. I buy a pretty big bottle, and it seems to last about 3 to 4 months, and it's like what, $30. I think we're just going to get back to small. And they don't want to go back to small because there's no money in small. You see what I'm saying? If you pull back and look, it's fairly obvious that the robber barons want to extract all the money that they can, including Donald Trump. And they've been able to do that for a long time, and now they're getting super greedy and desperate because they're starting to figure out that people are starting to figure out that this is bullshit. We had a tornado warning last night, and I was terrified. They haven't even fixed the tornado damage from last year. The last thing we need is another tornado. And I'm like, yeah, but you can still afford to send, what is that, $1 billion a month or something crazy to Israel? I forgot the number. But you can afford to send money out of this country by the boatloads. But there are hardworking Americans who are still unhoused. In North Carolina, in St. Louis, Flint still has shitty water. That's what a government's supposed to do. Fix the big problems. In a real country, the government would have stepped in and helped Flint. Instead, you got Obama up there pretending to drink this shitty water. You know he didn't drink that water. It's shameful. It's shameful. And the only way out is through. And if you want to survive this, you have got to go small. So I don't understand why Warner Brothers is a part of Paramount, because everything else is going smaller. And the only good thing I can think is that the future will hold a ton of great independent films by great independent filmmakers, because they're not part of a system that's designed to oppress them and extort them for their craft. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. And I'm declaring that I'm the leader of that movement. You heard it here first. So yeah, I don't want any fucking studio notes. I'm telling you, because the people who give you the notes aren't creatives. They're studio people. And studio people aren't creative anymore. There was a time when all those businesses were run by hippies and creatives, but not anymore. And you're getting notes from people who could care less about your story. They just want to make money. And I'm a capitalist. I like making money, but I'm not going to betray my story and my characters and my own character just to make money. So, anyway, this rant is wrapping up. I'm really still furious about this DTF St. Louis thing. One of my friends was like, oh, the show is pleasant. And I was like, no, it's not. It's nothing like St. Louis. It's so disrespectful. But she lives in Chicago, where they actually honor Chicago. And when they say they're filming in Chicago, they probably are. I don't get it. St. Louis is being mad disrespected. And, they're not going to do anything about it. Because in order to get people to film here, you need to build a community. And, they're not interested in that. Nobody here is a visionary. Nobody in leadership. That's the problem. All right. I'm done here for today. Happy Monday. Be in a good mood. Have a great day. It's the beginning of a new week. These weeks are going pretty fast. God is good. I love you. And I appreciate you listening. So take care. Have a great day.